And it said we were live.
Sure. If you'd like to keep the air conditioning running and maybe the dehumidifier,
To mop up that sarcasm you're dripping?
maybe the dehumidifier. Good Lord, it is humid.
Yeah.
We're not usually this humid, and it is really kicking people's butts around here.
Well, it's humid, but we aren't actually getting rain.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just miserable.
It's like breathing through a hot, wet blanket. If you like coffee, King Harvest Imperial Coffees at www.kingharvest.com. Friend of ours, please let them know you heard about it from us. Among the Leaves Tees. If you need a sassy t-shirt, tinyurl.com/Among the Leaves Tees. Another friend, be sure you let him know you heard about it from us. And Liz, we do not have the package, so.
And yes, definitely congratulations to Dave Freer and Jay Kenton Pierce.
Indeed.
And to Rack Press.
Well, all we did was publish it. They actually did the hard writing.
Well, but y'all give authors a chance. And you're upfront about what you're doing.
We try.
And you're not a vanity press.
Boy, that's some big press news sites that they might say something different.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I thought you weren't going to do that on camera.
It's very crunchy. See what the chat says about that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Ian has a new chew toy, literally. Jay Kenton, that was his first full novel.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's an excellent way to start.
And we might get Deej to actually speak in human this time next year.
Yeah.
He's been speaking in dolphin every time I've seen him
Right.
recently.
And Dave Freer got recognized for the second time in 4 years for his work.
And they made it a very special recognition of a YA novel.
Yes.
It's the very first special award for young adult fiction.
Yeah.
Very first one, and he nailed it.
Yep.
And that's what Rack Press has done, is purposely gone after the boys' books because there aren't any out there.
No.
No, Richard, not fried roses.
Seriously?
Peppers.
Those are peppers. Those are habanada peppers, because they're a very sweet version bred from the habanero. Ian tells me that the flavor is not quite the same as habanero. I wouldn't know. I've never munched a raw habanero.
Neither has anybody with sense. That includes you. I didn't say you had any sense.
Wow. These are having this very nice flavor. It's not as citrusy as an actual habanero, but it's for use in a mailbox. It is not. We don't have a mailbox, sweetheart. I will say, while the actual fruit doesn't have any heat, the seeds have got some heat.
Yeah, basically, Rick, it's pepper candy.
Well, I was pleased that it stayed sweet because I'm growing 3 sweet peppers in pots this summer. And one of them is the Tam jalapeno, which is not necessarily sweet, but definitely on the milder end of habanero.
Yeah.
And it is quite spiky this summer, so I'm having to treat those with caution. And I'm growing a Japanese pepper called the manganiji that is usually very sweet, but not right now because it's been hot.
Hey, Tully, I need your friggin' email address. Send that to me, will you?
Well, this is what they look like.
Yeah,
Ooh, got a seed. Ooh, got a seed. That was lovely.
No, Rick, I don't have anything at the house either.
So actually, it doesn't look like much like a hop. It looks like a Bishop's Mitre or a Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. It was Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah, the company that I get those from, Baker Creek Seeds, also known as Rare Seeds.
They're good. That's a good.
They're very good. I had a moment this spring. I drove past them on my way through Missouri, and I could not stop. At the time, I did not have time, and I was like, I'm going to come back up here now that I know where they are.
Hell yes.
Because I would love to if they have like an open house, go and wander over the seed farm. That would be amazing.
Tully, I upgraded my phone a couple of weeks ago, and I lost a bunch of not only email address, but also phone numbers for folks. It says it's been delivered. It might be next door.
It's for you, so I'll go check it. All right, I get my crunchy treat away from you guys.
I thought you were going to save the seeds.
I've got a bunch more. I'll save seeds, dry them properly, and put them in a food packet for him.
Okay, well, he goes and checks. Another PSA for veterans.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. TriWest Healthcare says that 11,844 beneficiaries have been affected by a data breach.
Again?
Yep, this is a new one.
Jeez.
Happened April the 16th, apparently, and a unauthorized person gained, quote, unquote, limited unauthorized access to TRICARE West information and downloaded it.
Oh, that's a lovely flavor, Cedar. Thank you.
So they are supposedly notifying specific individuals once their their specific information has been gained. So I have not gotten a letter. Doesn't mean much. So if you get a letter, you're a veteran, just be aware of it.
I went ahead and ate the seeds on the last one. Woo, that's tingly.
One of those useless letters that says your data may have been revealed in a breach.
Yeah.
So there's a reason. I don't have mine locked down. I probably should, but we locked Stanford's credit down. You can put a freeze on your credit report.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a little bit of time to take it off again if you need it for something. But if you aren't planning on using your credit, like applying for any kind of loan, freeze your credit. It's free. It's relatively easy, and it will keep this kind of thing from having ramifications that you really don't want to deal with.
Well, and you also want to do fraud monitoring on any and all of your credit cards, and if you have a cash card tied to your checking account, do that also.
And for God's sake, folk, if you're going to use your card at a gas pump, go inside.
64% of the gas pumps that they have tested have been found to have skimmers on them.
Skimmers, yep.
And they look like the real thing. They actually fit over the real thing. So you can't tell the difference. So yes, you get charged by the gas company, but the scammers also pull the data off the skimmer.
The skimmer gives them your card number and your PIN number.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lovely flavor, but those seeds are warm.
Yep.
Nice. Hey,
Yeah, Rick, and if this is so friggin' true. IT tries to lock things down. End users scream bloody murder. Convenience always trumps security. Yep. The classic case is all the cars today. Your car, if you have anything that has a chip in it, has zero, I repeat, zero security on that chip. So if you drive anything that has a ECU, engine control unit, it can be hacked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, darling equals dumb. Yes.
Nice little tingle on the lips. I need to get a bush of those so I can just get a pocket full for it and just sit here and eat them, because I do love eating.
Well, Greg, there's another problem with the Wi-Fi chip for contactless payment, because those skimmers are also putting a slab over that does the same thing. So it's sending it not only to the station, it's also sending it to their.
I don't know actually how that works, so I don't have any.
Well, it's a RFID scanner. That's all the hell it is. It's like
these days they sell wallets that have
Mine is.
mine is too, my new one.
Yeah.
Well,
and if your car is connected to OnStar, Well, it doesn't even have to be connected to OnStar. Anything that has a recording device in it in your vehicle, they are selling your driving data to the insurance companies.
This is
The heck with that. I have to have an app on my phone that sends data, my driving data, to my insurance company.
yeah, I opted out of that.
Yeah.
They're charging me more, but
Well, we opted in because at the time we had a teenage driver on the insurance.
Yeah.
this is a money clip wallet from King's Loot, and it's got one of the better RFID blocking. And I got this after a couple years back at the Liberty Con Marriott.
Yeah.
2, 3, maybe 4 years back. I walked up to check in, and I hadn't pulled my wallet out, or my money clip. I used to carry a money clip out of my pocket yet, and they did the transaction, and it went ding.
Yeah.
I got a little annoyed.
Yeah. Hey, Julie. Yes, thank you for that. Likes are always appreciated, folks, along with comments. Speaking of which, damn it, I forgot again. If you're listening to this later, if you wait 24 hours, you get the chat. If you pull it up before then, you don't get the chat. The chat is usually more entertaining than we are. So take that for what it's worth.
He's not lying.
The other thing that set me off last night, well, one of the things, of course, we're back to blockading Iran again.
Apparently, we've restarted the war.
Yeah. Well, they had their chance.
Yeah.
And they did exactly what we said they were going to do.
If you were commenting that day, I said that Iran was not gonna.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are. The U.S. Navy did use 2 over-the-side USVs yesterday in Bandar Abbas.
Wow.
Ran one of them up in the subpen before it exploded. So they took out the last that we're aware of, the last submarine. And they also damaged the docks with the other one.
Good.
So that takes care of that. But, this is the situation, folks. The Iranians believe, and they're perfectly fine with lying to us, because they don't think America will do anything. They think they have enough support here with what the Democrats and other folks are doing that they'll get away with it. All they have to do is wait us out.
Something that folks don't understand is, now this is the mullahs, not your average Iranian. Although out in the sticks, those folks is weird. But your mullah and your IRGC folks, you know how they lose? By not fighting anymore. Peace is how they lose. That's something that Trump and his handlers don't understand. Is a peaceful world means Iran has lost.
Yep.
It's not where they win. They don't give a damn about winning. They just need to be the world in flames so that their hidden imam will reveal himself and drag everybody off to paradise.
Yep, 12th Imam.
And Trump's a businessman.
Yeah.
For better or worse, he's a businessman. And he's doing this like a business deal.
Yep.
This is not business.
Well,
this is immortal souls.
And I have an alternate thought on this as far as negotiations go, is that this wasn't about the mullahs. This was about international eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to do the diplomatic thing before we could pound them into a pulp.
Yep. And
you're probably dead nuts on.
Yeah.
Because I am sure that there are people that are next to Trump saying the same things that you are, because
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. But there's some people in the Department of War right now that seem to have their heads screwed on tight. I saw a really sweet post today about a guy whose wife was in the Merchant Marines. And he's evidently been an advocate for making sure that we start building more ships, because I did not realize how abysmal the situation was. But until I think you talked about it the other day, and then John Conrad on X, I've been following. But he was emotional because he's talking about Secretary of Navy giving a World War II Merchant Marine veteran a really high medal for his service, because this is evidently something that John Conrad has been advocating for a long time. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, there's somebody that gets it.
Liz, I would wait a couple of days before you
Liz,
resend anything.
we actually have a Ring camera on the shop. John has access to it. When she gets out of the hospital, we'll check and see if they actually showed up. Okay.
Now serving a mom number 13. Number 13.
Well, and Cedar's got a good point about doing this for the optics. I'm here to tell y'all, folks, the Euro weenies that weren't backing us the first time aren't going to back us this time either.
Yeah.
And bless our hearts. Okay. This honestly, diplomatically, if Cedar's right, and she probably is, that's the right thing to do. But the international community has as bad, the Europeans anyway, have as bad a case of Trump derangement syndrome as our own media do. He can't do anything right.
Yeah. Well, in the classic case of not doing anything right, you've got what Ro Khanna tried to pull in
that
Israel.
moron.
Oh, Lord.
Dumbass.
This one,
I'm a serving congressman in a foreign country, dumbass.
who never checked with the Israelis, who offered to brief him and allow him to meet with the October the 7th survivors.
Yeah. Offer him an escort.
And offered him an escort. So what does he do? He refuses all of that, meets with the Palestinians,
Drives into a restricted military zone to do so.
and gets stopped by Israeli civilians, quote unquote, militia, who very politely stopped them. Now, all this is caught on video.
Ro Khanna's own video, I might add.
Well, actually,
Yeah, it's, when Israelis showed up, they had body cams.
yeah, they had body cams, but what he didn't realize was the part that he released about how badly he was treated. When the pushback started, they released the rest of his video, which showed actually nothing happening.
Oh, dumbass.
So the Israeli military showed up. And of course, they sided with the locals because he was in a restricted zone without approval.
Well, they did chew out the locals a bit.
Yeah.
A bit. But the locals were right.
Well, they showed up with ARs, and they were ready to take care of business.
As they should be. I mean,
Tiff, we can talk to you later about that. The other thing that torqued me off, I went from that to the whole Caitlin Clark thing last night.
Who's Caitlin Clark?
She is the white female basketball player in the
it has
WNBA.
been spectacular memeified.
Is she the one pointing?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a different one. That's
Oh, is
her
it?
enforcer.
Oh, okay.
She has an enforcer? I
Yeah.
like her already.
Well, she needs one because they are fouling her and beating on her as much as they can.
Yeah, I saw some videos,
Yeah.
compiled videos, and they are just
Yeah.
bouncing her off the surface.
Well, and this was something that it was a link to one of the congressional things about the congressman going to the WNBA president and going, "Why are you not taking care of your marquee star?" Which linked to an article that compared Paige Bucher, who is another white girl who came in about the same time, and Caitlin Clark.
So Clark's that good?
Huh?
Clark's that good?
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah.
that good.
That's why she's getting the shit kicked out of her by the.
Well, not only that, but there's other issues. One, she is straight. Two, she is white. Three, which was part of this research in this article, she is not political.
Oh, nose.
Only once has she made any comment, and that was when she first came in the league, about her white privilege. Paige Bucher's, on the other hand, who is also white, who came in a year after her, has been basically loved by the left.
Oh, she's
The blacks.
sucking up on the Victim Olympics.
She's sucking up on the Victim Olympics. She is a lesbian. she has had a black stepmother at some point, and she's been protesting, going back to Black Lives Matter. Plus, she is jumping into the politics of the WNBA, saying, "Well, no, we don't have any black coaches. We should have, yada yada yada, towing the line." Yeah, so it's been rather interesting. And yeah, I'm afraid what's going to happen with the WNBA is that Clark is going to be smart enough to move on,
Cut sling load, get the hell out.
and get the hell out and let the WNBA fold on its own.
Okay.
It's absolutely stupid.
Sounds like a win-win to me.
Because they are going to cut their own throat in spite of themselves. No, that's good, Liz. You get your refund tomorrow.
Are you going to Aurora Scantia?
Yeah, Rick, in short, she's doing everything she can to stay out of the battle zone. However, the battle zone won't stay away from her.
No.
They are actively trying to hurt her. They're actively trying to push her out. Take care, Kermit. Have a good day.
Be safe.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, the only reason the WNBA exists is because the support of the NBA.
And all 12 fans who will cry when the WNBA folds.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, Caitlin Clark has been drawing enough audiences at the Indiana Fever. Yeah, she's a member of the Indiana Fever. That they have had to go to larger facilities.
For now.
Her games have been drawing 17 to 20,000
So
people.
why aren't her teammates protected?
She has one that's trying to protect her. That's the one,
The
Sophie Cunningham,
the
that did
pointer?
the pointer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You're going to start throwing some elbows.
Well, when she does that, she gets called for a technical, even when she's defending herself.
Speaking of women's sports,
Yes.
did you guys see how badly Amnesty Inc. stepped on themselves?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yes. Woo! Please expand on that.
So I don't know that I saw the beginning of this because it was related to J.K. Rowling,
Mhm.
as a lot of these things often are right now. And basically, Amnesty went after a women's shelter.
She
that was
sponsored
she
or
sponsors it,
Yeah.
or it's part of her foundation.
or it's not, she's a major
Right.
player.
So they went after them, and then they published a list of organizations that they're referring to as being anti-trans, or I forget what the exact
It was
phrasing is.
right wing.
And then John Cleese weighs in.
Yeah.
Now, John Cleese is by far from anything conservative or left. I have seen that man go off on some really odd tangents that made me kind of lean back and go, British. But he's been a huge fundraiser for Amnesty since the 70s.
Yep.
And at this point has completely disavowed them.
Yeah.
Because it started out with, I'm really upset with you, and went to, I'm not having anything to do with you ever again. J.K.
Ooh.
Rowling has also offered from her personal funds, not just her foundation that was established to support women and women's rights. From her personal funds, she will pay any necessary legal fees for the gay men's organizations that Amnesty included in that list.
Yeah, so a list of
I missed that part.
right-wing hate
Mhm.
organizations, and it was a
It's
women's shelter, a battered women's shelter.
Well, no, there's a whole bunch of things on this list that are
J.K.
definitely not-
Rowling's was a battered women's shelter.
Right. But there's a whole bunch of other things on that list that basically it's because they're trying to protect women,
Mm-hmm.
because there are certain things that just do not belong in spaces where you're trying to shelter abused women, and a man with
Fancy
mental
that.
illness is one of those things
Yeah.
that you do not want in there.
Amnesty International put this out and initially said, we stand by what we publish.
And then over the weekend,
Then
there
their
was
lawyers went, you realize this woman could sue us with her
Oh, there's-
sofa change, right?
There's going to be suits,
Yeah.
multiple. This is why she's offering to fund them now.
This woman can sue us with what she finds and
But-
digs out of her sofa.
Between J.K. Rowling and John Cleese,
Yeah.
they're no longer going to exist as an organization by the time those two are done with them.
I've had no liking for Amnesty International or Human Rights Watch since those Cedars here.
Yeah.
People grilled me. No, no, they can go to hell.
When I was at the University of South Carolina, because I ran the telecommunications, I worked with law enforcement quite closely. And one of the things that we had on campus that was not well known was we had a shelter on campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not surprised.
And it was very secure. And we had medical people that were females that were willing to come over any time of the day or night if we had an emergency. It had a secure phone in it, and a number of other security. It was not publicly identified to anybody on the university other than law enforcement, the president of the university, and me.
Smart.
We had at one point 9 girls in there.
Colleges, especially co-ed colleges, statistically, if you look back at what happened when colleges went co-ed,
Yeah.
it's a nightmare. But they became a hunting ground for predators because predators go where the prey is.
Yep.
And girls away from home for the first time, sometimes away from strict parents or upbringing, someplace where they feel like they're anonymous and can just let their hair down, get themselves into bad situations because they're not being aware that the predators are swimming among them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all you have to do is look at the girls the week their parents are there when they first check into
Yep.
school,
and what they're wearing the next
and what they're
week.
wearing the next week. And that just, if nothing else, that will scare the hell out of you as a parent.
I mean, my mom didn't want me to go off to college in another state because she knew what happens with a lot
Yeah.
of girls away from home the first time. And so she insisted that I go off to a very small, ultra religious Bible college.
And how did that work out?
I learned some things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily through personal experience. It was through a lot of observation because 90 incoming freshmen, 45 couples.
Yeah.
And then 30 days later, a different 45 couples. And then 30 days later, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And being the third wheel for off-campus dates because you couldn't go out just a guy and a girl by yourselves.
Yeah.
You had to be like juniors and formally engaged and permission slips to leave campus as just a guy and a girl.
Yeah.
So you always went around in packs of at least 3.
Yep. And Rick brings up another excellent point. Compounded by access to alcohol without supervision.
Right, which in theory, the tiny little Christian campus where I was completely dry.
Uh-huh.
In theory.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But on a secular campus, on a big, and kids would go choose. You could find ratings. Heck, when I was trying to find a college, if I recall correctly, you could get this big book out of the library that was a list of all the different colleges and all the different rankings, including an article in there in the top 10 party schools in the United States.
Yeah.
Which Chico State led.
And they were kids that were selecting to go to a party school for their education. What they were going to get educated in, well,
They wanted to have fun. We've taught several generations of kids that college is for having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we wondered why college degrees mean nothing.
I posted a year or so back. I was on my way into work and I stopped at about 6:30 in the morning. I stopped at Quick Time to get my coffee, and there was a big white van pulled up to the gas station, and a whole bunch of high school age boys got out of it, and one high school age girl. And they were flip flops and beach clothes. And I asked one of the boys, "Where y'all going?" They said, "Corpus."
Mm-hmm.
Open like hell, she had a sister in there.
One
I
of
got
the
cop instincts that were going off like
Yeah.
a fire alarm.
Oh yeah. One of the few times while I was in school as a non-traditional student, literally old enough to be a lot of my classmates' mother, because I had an 18-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
One of the few times the mom voice slipped out was sitting there before class, and a couple of the girls were talking about how they had been out and there had been a big hockey game.
Yeah.
And so they had been out partying with there's our school's hockey team and the away hockey team. And they had one girl that refused to leave the hotel when they were all getting ready to go back to campus.
Oh yeah.
And they left her there.
Yeah.
And I lost my mind with those kids.
Again, cop sense going off like a fire alarm.
Yeah. Greg says, I spent freshman year at Mennonite College. For some reason, the folks I hung out with were veterans returning back on the GI Bill. Yep.
Well, and a whole bunch of the guys at the little tiny college where I was were veterans because they specifically sent recruiting teams. This is in West Virginia, but they specifically sent recruiting teams from the college to Virginia Beach to sign up Navy vets.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of Navy guys, some really good guys.
Good
But
guys
also,
and some dirtbags.
you know, we had a couple of dirt bags in the year I was there, including the one that I later married. Again, with predators swimming among prey.
Yeah.
And I speak wherever I know.
Yeah.
But the other thing, too, was that the dean at that school said the single dumbest thing that I have ever heard an ostensibly adult human being say to an audience of the entire school, so 300 students in the auditorium, and he announces to all of us that some of the rules here are only to see how well you obey rules.
What?
You can imagine the results of that.
Jesus Christ.
It was literally, and I'm 19
On a
and I'm
crutch.
sitting there going, are you dumb?
Yes.
Ah.
Matter of fact.
Well, and talking about alcohol, we had one girl that basically committed suicide.
Yeah.
She jumped/fell out of a 6-story window.
Alcohol was involved.
Alcohol was involved.
Yep.
She had a blood alcohol of 0.18.
Woof.
And she had been out the night before with 3 guys. I'm not going to go into the details of what the autopsy showed, but
Well, and then
whether
you
it
get
was
then you get-
regret for what she had done or whether it was she was trying to throw up, we don't know.
But she went out the window.
But she went out the window and died.
I was going to say, and you also have to factor in sometimes there's coercion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I was first Bo Scuff was a junior college town, and it's cowboy college. So there was some pretty hard partying going on, and when I was night deputy, I'd find a couple parked out on the farm road, go up, find out what they're doing, and I'd have the male part get out, go stand at the back of the car, and I asked when he was going, I'd ask the girl, you hear your own free will? Are you okay? And I only had one that wasn't in some way. But I had a guy get out and stand at the and he wasn't a cowboy, he was a football player, I think. Stand at the rear of the car. I said, "Miss," he said, "Don't say anything." I said, "You better kiss that trunk." What? Kiss the trunk. And then I said, "All right, get in my car." But it's okay. Get in my car. Get my car, child.
Yeah.
And I drove her back to college.
Yeah, Carlton, it's interesting what Clark does sustain a career-ending injury. It'll get swept under the rug. That's my opinion. The other thing, though, you gotta realize,
Then
folks.
folks riot.
Huh?
Then folks riot.
No,
No.
wrong side. Nobody's
Yeah,
gonna
wrong
riot.
color, wrong size, wrong. wrong background. There are people out there that don't care. They simply want to do what they want to do, and they don't believe the law applies to them.
I am starting to see things changing. By the way,
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see the video out of Italy this morning?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
There is an immigrant, illegal one each in
Yeah.
Italy, blocking a street with him and his bicycle.
Yeah.
The gentleman walks up eating a ice cream cone. One hands the bicycle, yeets it, and then starts debating the illegal immigrant while eating his ice cream cone. I'm going, oh, this. Oh dear. And then when he was almost done with his ice cream cone, the illegal immigrant shoved him, and what was left of his cone went flying. And then the Italian Grandmaster wrestling champion, heavyweight division,
Greco-Roman international champion, no less.
went to Pound Town, and not in a fun way.
It was funny, folks. It was absolutely funny.
Suplex, got a kneel on the immigrant's chest and started beating the stupid out of him.
Yeah.
And everybody around just walked around it.
Yep.
Things is changing.
Yeah, they are, but not fast enough.
Because in Britain, we have a murdered politician and they're not releasing the CCTV footage.
Yeah.
And we know what that means.
Well, they've already stated that they're investigating as a political injury.
Yeah, it was a targeted attack.
It was
and they're not releasing the footage. We know exactly
And why
what that
that
means.
is.
Well,
Because if he was white, they'd have released the footage.
the woman that was killed up in Ireland or Wales or Scotland, wherever it was, the American woman,
I missed that one.
she was murdered.
Yeah.
God.
Her 13-year-old daughter was home at the time.
Oof.
And the local constabulary has not released any information concerning the perp because, quote unquote, according to British law, they have to protect the illegals coming in asking for asylum. Meanwhile, others have tracked this guy back to Jordan.
My shock
So,
face.
yeah.
I'll show you it.
England does not have freedom of speech anyway.
Oh,
That's
she
true.
was the one.
Speaking of freedom of speech.
She was the one that moved to Ireland or Scotland to be a protester, wasn't she? I remember this.
No, she wanted to get away from everything.
Speaking of freedom of speech, have you guys seen our lovely Attorney General Harmeet's letter to Fort Worth Police Department? I follow her for her knitting because awesomely, she is a skilled knitter that does these beautiful patterns, and I have come to really appreciate her legal tone of voice.
Yeah. Hey, JK, congratulations, man.
Hearing that she's a knitter is almost as shocking as hearing about the that football player that knitted.
Well, so I followed her for quite a while before I think she'd even ascended to office, as it were. But whenever she's on a long plane ride, she knits.
Yeah.
And she posts pictures of the beanies and sweaters and stuff that she makes.
There was Rosie Greer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the football player, Rosie Greer, in
Big son bitch.
and he was a nightmare on the friggin' football pitch.
Yeah.
And when he knitted.
Yeah.
And it's like you look at homicide on two legs, and then he knits.
Well, he also did what's the
Cross stitch.
the little fine needles.
Yeah, cross
Yeah.
stitch.
Yeah, cross stitch. Speaking of stitches,
But what I was going to say, though, is the Fort Worth Police Department has been ordered to produce a whole bunch of paperwork and documentation.
Oh
Uh-huh.
no.
And going back to like 2015 for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over that one.
More than one.
Apparently, from what I'm hearing, that this isn't the first time that
No.
officer's done. She's apparently done it before.
Yeah.
And there's more than one officer that I've seen videos of too. So this is a
Well,
deep-rooted
apparently-
issue.
Apparently, she was.
Steady point. Thank you, Rick.
She was somebody brought her previous transgression on the First Amendment to the attention of Fort Worth PD Internal Affairs.
Yeah.
And they're wanting they want to know what the hell was done. And I believe that Fort Worth PD Internal Affairs is probably shitting kittens right now.
Yeah. The other thing, did you hear about the testimony in front of Congress today?
No, I hadn't seen that.
The two of the women from the Supreme Court are up there begging for funding for protection
From the Supreme Court?
for the Supreme Court. They need more security.
Oh,
Which makes sense. I mean,
Sotomayor and
Jackson?
nope.
no,
Jackson.
Ketanji Brown Jackson?
No.
Or,
Amy Coney Brown.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
What's her name?
Both of them are up there testifying on the Hill today about the fact that they need more support. They need more security.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is this saying? Amy Coney Barrett, thank you. What the fuck does this say about the level that we've reached where the Supreme Court of the U.S. has to go beg Congress for fucking security?
I want to bet that it's not our side of the spectrum that's terrorizing either.
No.
No.
Well, hell, the whole Kavanaugh murder thing. It's ridiculous, folks. You know, and if you listen to the Democrats, they want to do away with the Supreme Court. They want to do away with Congress and the Electoral College, and they want to do away with the presidency and have America ruled by a committee. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah,
just, you know, we didn't get where we are.
I would like to know. I would like somebody on the left to explain to me why the Jerusalem cross tattoo on Hegseth was prima facie evidence for him not to ever be allowed in government office, but a full-on Nazi death's head on Der Oysterführer was a perfectly good, was irrelevant to him holding office.
It's not going to make sense
I know.
because there's no sense to be had here.
Yeah. The nomenclature.
The Der Oysterführer, the fact that he got as far as he did.
Yeah, the only one his business apparently sold anything to was his mother.
My shocked face. Let me show you it.
Yeah, they want the Committee for Public Safety. Yeah, that's a good point, Greg.
The one I saw was that
It's not fascism when they do it.
They want the Supreme Court to be subordinate to Congress.
Now they want to do away with Congress too.
I know they want to.
They want it to be a committee.
Yeah, they want to get rid of the Senate.
Yeah,
which I think is a very bad idea. But that's just me.
I mean, it literally is the Committee of Public Safety. Go back and look at the French Revolution because that's what they want.
Yep.
They
just don't look at the whole timeline there where the original people went to the guillotine as well.
Yep. And JK brings up a good point. It's more important to be morally right than factually correct. Yep. It's the feels.
Even letting Der Oysterführer get as far as he did boggles my mind. It really does.
They don't have any real candidates. I mean, that's the other thing with Ro Khanna. This was supposed to be his announcement for his presidential run. And he was also trying to direct attention away from.
He was a big supporter of Der Oysterführer.
Yes, he was.
I have a question. Did you have family in Sacramento?
Uh-huh.
The city of Sacramento is now going to be sending crews across the city to track and check that residents are sorting their trash properly.
Oh, yeah.
Sending people around to actually check your curbside cans.
Yep. And find people.
1-800 snitches lined up in ditches.
Well, I'm also thinking about the whole deflock thing that's been going on the last
Right.
week or so.
Woo!
That has been amusing.
I was shocked. Deflock.me,
Yeah.
I think is the web page that it's a crowdsourced chasing down all the flock cameras, and I found it, put it up on Facebook, and then I went to verify it in Wichita Falls,
Yeah.
and I was shocked. They were dead nuts on. Wichita Falls is eat up with flock cameras.
I got 2 down here at
Yes, they do.
369.
They got 4 down there on 369 between 369 and US 287.
Yeah.
There's 2 more.
Yeah, I know. But the 2 that monitor the corner there.
Yeah.
So they get you going or coming.
Hmm.
Yeah, Rick, you're exactly right. The trash companies dump everything in the same bin.
Yeah.
Well,
And
okay, so
Sacramento does not actually recycle. They haven't for years.
recycling costs more.
Yeah.
Than necessary. There's no reason to recycle. It's not. It costs a lot more, and the byproducts of it do not work like they used to say it did.
Yeah.
So recycling
No.
is actually counterproductive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it needs to be scrapped and something else tried, because I mean, there are a lot of things that you could do with different bits and pieces of trash if you wanted to reduce the way
Yeah.
the landfill stuff. But some of them, the environmentalists would rise up in horror. Horror, I tell you, at the idea of incinerating stuff and using that for power.
Yep.
Because we can absolutely scrub what comes out of that. So we're not putting pollution into the air.
Yeah.
I should not have rubbed my eye.
Oh no.
I should not have rubbed my eye.
No.
And the stupidity burns, literally.
Wow.
Yeah, in 200 years, they'll be contracting miners to harvest metals out of the trash. Yeah. Well, they're literally, because I saw this the last time I was in Italy, they are literally doing architectural digs in the old trash dumps in Sicily,
Well, okay.
because
so
they've been dumping in the same place since the 1100s.
there's more than one science fiction story that I can remember reading about basically turning back and strip mining the landfills.
Yeah.
Because stuff that was thrown away is now realized to be a valuable resource, and we can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
And probably will wind up doing that at some point in the not too distant future, because we can do things a whole lot more efficiently than we used to.
Yeah.
It's the same principle of being able to go back now and reuse some of the nuclear waste for nuclear fuel, because
Yeah.
now we know how to do that, which further reduces the nuclear waste.
Yep, trash for power. James is exactly right. You know, and the other thing that gets me, being a sailor, being a Navy guy, and having spent time in the Pacific, they always complain about the size of the trash
Garbage.
pool,
The garbage patch.
the garbage patch. There is no way all that came from the U.S.
Oh no.
It did not. We know it did not.
No, no.
No, they've studied it.
Yeah.
90% of it comes from Asia.
But the U.S. is the only one that takes the blame for it.
Well, and then there's
Because
the
we're
other
safe.
thing.
We're safe.
Yeah.
There's the other thing that nobody is talking about, which is that as we're observing and studying all these random bits of trash in the ocean, we're finding more and more microbes that actually consume plastic.
Yeah.
It's not a fast process, but they're not forever.
Yeah.
And and we're finding that the whole brouhaha about microplastics
The brouhaha.
Yeah.
was
Overdone.
when I went and looked at the young lady that ran the double check on the test to rule out what was actually going on, I realized that they had been doing that so badly, because so mass spectrometers are twitchy.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were basically shedding glove material into this makes perfect sense because nobody's doing nothing in the lab barehanded. I certainly wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're looking at that level, it's the whole detectable level thing.
Yeah.
Just because we can detect it doesn't mean it's doing anything down there, first of all. And secondly, it was contamination. It's cross-contamination.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked.
I get really upset and twitchy. And this is when I start posting flower pictures and telling people to go bloom scrolling, not doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I hope that back in the 50s and before that science was actually a lot more rigorous than it's turned out to be in the 2020s.
Yeah.
So
Science is not very rigorous these days.
Well,
there's a lot of politicization in science these days. And because of how academia has turned into a political hellhole, and that's where a lot of research is done. And of course, the lefts are all screaming about how Trump is defunding this and that and the other program. And
Like they
do we need funding for science? Yes. Should it be politically sourced? No, because if the government paid for a study, the leftists wouldn't believe that either.
I can vouch for that one because I saw that in action.
Right. And this has been going on for a long time. And it's why when you read a paper, if you have a good teacher in undergrad, they will teach you how to read a paper to look for the biases. There's supposed to be disclaimers, but there's also some other tells that you can use to track back, learn more about the author, learn more about the journal it's being published in, that will give you a pretty good idea of how seriously you should take whatever this paper is.
In 1993, I got involved in a project when I worked for another agency in DC. And it was a biology project involving whales. We had 8 of the top 10 biologists in the world, not just the US, in the world involved. Because it was sponsored by the government, the results were deemed to be quote unquote invalid.
Right. And then we get into the whole thing with peer reviewing, and I have been scolded. I have been scolded by people on my side ish, people that all three of us know well. I was scolded for blogging about the drawbacks and pitfalls of peer review because it would lead to a reduced level of trust in science. This was shortly before COVID.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Michael brings up an excellent point too. 40 years ago, anthropologists were studying what ended up in the Tucson landfills. He discovered the old appliances and the trash kept disappearing. They ended up in Mexico to be refurbished.
Yeah. Well, there's a kid on YouTube that I enjoy because he's, I don't know, early 20s, and he's got a teenage brother, and he's teaching his teenage brother how to do it. And they basically drive around, pick up either cheap off Facebook Marketplace or free on side of road washers, dryers, that kind of thing. Bring them home and fix them up and resell them. I bought when I moved to Texas. We didn't move the washer and dryer because it was a front load washer and it leaked.
Oh God.
I do not like those. Anyhow.
You don't ever want a front load washer.
So we moved down to the city, and I hop on Facebook Marketplace and noodle around and find a washer dryer set for really reasonable. And I go over, and it is a gentleman of strong Hispanic descent, and who did not have use of one of his arms any longer due to an industrial accident. And what he was doing out of his garage was exactly that. And he insisted that, because it was my son and I, and so we stand out in front of his garage and we're talking about gardening and appliance repair, but he insisted I stay there long enough for him to run a full cycle through so he could prove to me that they worked.
Yeah.
And then he offered to deliver and install.
Yeah.
We're in a second floor apartment. You guys remember helping?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Quite-
he's got
quite
one
literally.
functional arm. Now my son did wind up helping him, which was lovely. But he horsed those things up those stairs and put them
Mhm.
in and made sure everything was hooked up
Well-
and running properly. He was lovely.
There's something I call a cedar stove. It is the 1950s era Chambers
Yeah.
stove company. And here in the last 2 years, people discovered the old chamber stoves,
Mm.
and there is a romping business
Mm-hmm.
getting these old chambers gas stoves out of old buildings or scrap yards, and it doesn't take very much to.
No, I
And
mean,
they're
and
selling for bank.
there's a lot of people that are looking for those. People are paying through the nose
Mhm.
for old school speed queens.
Yeah.
That are all analog. I mean, I looked at it and went, I cannot afford that.
These things, these chambers, there's a lot of cast iron
Yep.
in the makeup, and they're fantastic stoves. And there's all of a sudden the last 2 years a hell of a booming business in
Yep.
refurbing
And
chamber stoves.
if you want to run propane
Mhm.
instead of natural gas,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy enough because the jets literally unscrew in the old on the old chambers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rick brought up a good point about the science crisis. The reproducibility
Yes.
crisis
Yes.
shows that 90% of the scientific papers are bunk. Yeah, because they cannot be reproduced.
It's higher if you look at any of the squishy sciences.
Yeah.
Sociology, anthropology. We're approaching probably 99%.
Yeah.
For anything that's like psychology, sociology. So many of those are just flat,
Yeah.
made up.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what fascinates me about the chamber stoves, other than the two-sided griddle,
Mhm.
there is so much non-asbestos insulation
Yeah.
in what they call the well, which is a built-in slow cooker,
Yep.
and the stove that you can fire up the slow cooker, let it heat up while you're putting stuff into the slow cooker, turn it off, put it in there, shut the lid, and it will cook. It will slow cook off of the pilot light.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the old chambers from the 40s and 50s, if you open the oven door, actually have recipes on the door, including what temperature to use and how long to
Yeah.
put it in the oven.
You get far enough, a really old stove, they didn't have a built-in thermometer. You couldn't set the temperature. That's
Yeah.
why really old cookbooks talk about slow, fast, or
Yeah.
hot, very hot, medium hot, where you're expected to be able to stick your hand in and tell what the temperature is. And I can tell you from experience that it's very practical to do
Yeah.
that.
Well,
After a while, you know.
There was
Oh, good grief.
a cookbook. There was a cookbook that my grandmother had. That the first chapter was how to gauge the heat of the stove or
From
a
the
pan.
color.
No, from how long you can
From
hold your hand over.
Right. Yeah.
I was thinking the color and the hand both.
Yeah. But because oven thermometers weren't a thing until, oh golly, I'm going to say like the 1930s. It may have been earlier than that, but it certainly wasn't in common use. You didn't have people saying, oh, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, because you didn't have a way of telling.
Well, this was fascinating. The first book is warm was if you hold your hand 2 inches for.
Yep. And that's a really great book because a lot of them just assumed you knew.
Yeah.
I mean, I have.
Well, this was the guide. This is the guide to new wives or something.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, I love those. I have some old cookbooks that basically give you a list of ingredients.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You're expected to know what to do with those.
Well, you've seen my old 1880s
Yeah.
cookbook same way. Richard says Harmon Absolute refurbished pellet stove, $5,000.
Yeah.
That's a 60-year-old stove. But they're
Well, these chambers, 1952 is average. They are well worth it.
Well, and
You have to plumb them for gas.
right, and that was what I ran into. Is I really wanted a gas range. I have a gas range. It was given to me. It's not old, but I would prefer to cook over gas. But by the time, because we were told that because the gas lines in our house were old enough, they were going to have to replumb it for the safety things. And we would have to have punched the vent all the way through, up through the roof, because the old range was completely unvented. So I wound up going with an electric just because I didn't have the several $1,000s it's going to be for all the auxiliary stuff to go ahead and put in a gas range.
Well, when I looked at doing it, you remember that?
Yeah.
$3,000
Yeah.
to get the gas line across the street to me.
Mhm.
And then it was another $3,000, and this was 10 years ago, to plumb it in just to the kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at probably $5,000 just to get ready to put in the stove.
I do love a gas stove.
I do too. Yeah,
I would
But
love one.
yours is perfect.
What I have is I have a big propane burner, which is what I sometimes call a turkey fryer burner, but it's so I can do some outdoor stuff. That's like I have the big 22-gallon pressure cooker for canning.
Yeah.
That will have to be done outside on that burner. There's no way it's going on my glass top stove.
Yeah.
So, well, the glass top was, if I'm going to have electric, I am not doing the coils.
Yeah.
Just no.
No. I love a gas stove, but I cook on anything.
Yeah.
I don't trust the induction stoves. I understand the principle, and they work really well.
No, they work really well,
Yeah.
too well. That's my problem with them, is they heat up so fast.
Yeah.
And I have trouble figuring out exactly where I need to set it.
I like the old gas stove because I could reach down, I could look at it,
Yes.
Height of the flame.
the height of the flame,
Yep. And you
and I
knew what
knew
you
what
were
I
doing.
was getting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've cooked on a glass top for a long time. When we lived in the farmhouse, we had a glass top. So I've cooked with cast iron on a glass top, and it's fine as long as you're gentle. You don't want to go banging stuff around on it.
No.
Well, you also don't want to slide it back and
Right,
forth across.
right.
And that's what makes me nervous when I'm cooking at gyms. Is I don't want to damage the man's glass top stove.
Oh, it's already screwed. So
I don't want to damage the man's. I don't want to damage the man's glass top stove.
But yeah, they all have drawbacks. I mean, gas would be ideal, but sometimes you just have to go with the best affordable option that's within your budget.
Yeah.
And that's I mean, I will say that I was so tickled with the new dishwasher.
Yeah.
Because it's so much better than the 1980s dishwasher that it replaces.
yeah. Well, we're out of time, and we didn't talk much about books, but
Congratulations
We
to
talked about the
Dave.
Prometheus Award.
Yeah,
so-
Dave Freer and J.
Yeah.
Kent Paris. Well
Yes.
done, guys.
that is outstanding. And
It is.
you know, this should get some people looking at Rack Press,
Hopefully.
because you know these folks, they're
Yeah.
honest up front. They're not trying to hide anything from any of the authors, and
I'm not smart enough to hide anything.
the authors do not pay a friggin' penny to Rack Press for anything.
No. Little press that can does and will. Thank
Yeah.
you, Kevin. All right, guys.
So anyway,
Jim will be on his own, probably with Cedar on Thursday. I will be en route to Salt Lake City, assuming that I can sit on a plane that long.
You going to Writer's Cantina?
I will not make it this year. I am waiting to get the dates for when my daughter has to have major surgery.
I'm not even sure I'm making it to Pecan this year.
Yeah.
So.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Y'all be
So
safe.
anyway, folks, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And whoever's here, we'll see you Thursday. Bye-bye.